Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Dr. Rouse in the House. We're excited to have all of you joining us from wherever you may be across the country, Canada, New Zealand, Philippines. I mean, I'm seeing people popping on from all over, and that certainly is a great thing. I'm in my home in New Hampshire this evening up on Alton Mountain, so I do apologize. We've got a little different internet feed here and the lighting and what have you, but it's the message that's important. So my name is Randy Anderson, and I want to welcome all of you, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us for a very important topic tonight. Here at Modexus, we have three powerful stories to tell, and one of those three, I believe, and I know many of you would agree with me, I know Dr. Rouse definitely does, is the nutritional story of the decade. I know our founder, CEO, Andrew Reinhardt, I know he believes that to be the case, and I'm right there with him. We've got a powerful story to tell and something new. It's available. We've had this for a couple years since we launched the company, but there are just tens of thousands, if not millions of people out here that are just waiting to hear that story. And all of us are blessed to be able to be the ones to take this story to the world. So the nutritional story of the decade, yes. And to tell us and share with us 7 reasons why is the founder of the Modexus Product Research Council, everyone's favorite natural medicine doctor, Dr. Charles Rouse. Dr. Rouse, thank you for joining us.
Oh, hey, Randy, what a blessing to be with all of you. And you know what, I'm excited. I'm as excited as you are about getting to tell the story about what's behind Modexus, our flagship nutrition. It's our #1 reason that we're in business is because of a berry called lonicera caerulea. We call it the lonicera berry. It's a beautiful purple berry. It's grown in the northern hemispheres. It loves the climate up there. It's prolifically grown in the northwest section of Canada. And those farmers up there have been so gracious to us. About 4 years ago, Randy asked me as a scientist, he said, Dr. Charlie, do me a favor, get me some research on lonicera caerulea. I told Randy after I did the research, I'm talking about university grade research. We're talking about medical science. We're talking about real McCoy stuff. I said, Randy, if you can grab it, be the first to the world market to get it. Whatever your company ever does, let lonicera caerulea be first in each and every product. That berry is so unique, Randy, that a lot of people don't realize this, but that berry in its chromosome structure, in its skin structure, is impervious and blocks out from the outer environment things like arsenic, lead, and cadmium. They do not accumulate in the fruit of the lonicera. And lonicera does not require chemical protection against pathogens and pests and diseases. Therefore, our berries that we put in our product do not contain any traces of pesticides. That is a unique berry in itself. And according to the research, lonicera is the fruit of the century, and it has a beautiful future because of their anti-atherogenic. You know what the word anti-atherogenic means? It means atherosclerosis means hardening of the arteries. Anti-atherogenic means heart healthy. Research is showing that they're using deep science to look into its anti-cancer benefits and anti-inflammatory benefits. So we're talking about deep research. We're talking about a real farm industry in the northwest Canada. And these people have been very gracious to us. But let me give you 7 reasons Dr. Charlie Dr. Charlie says that lonicera longevity puts Modexus at the top of the heap when it comes to natural medicine. Lonicera obviously is being researched because of antioxidant quality, but it goes far beyond being a free radical antioxidant quencher. And by that, and the reason for that, research is showing that it interacts in a much deeper fashion with cellular antioxidant pathways. Look at what's happening in the world today. Cellular biochemistry is becoming a phenomenon. And when you look at the pathways of the antioxidant defense that lonicera brings, we're talking about critically important to blocking chronic diseases and aging. So lonicera, number one on my list, it's more than a free radical antioxidant. It gets involved in major pathways and it provides a very natural armor, a protective armor by involving itself in these enzymes and these other metabolic factors in these pathways. Lonicera does way more than just squelch free radicals. There are oodles of university studies on lonicera that are very, very, very encouraging. And I encourage you to start doing some Google searches and look at what you have in your portfolio. You have one of the best nutritionals in the whole wide world. Lonicera works in a network of metabolic biochemistry pathways by working on these metabolic dysfunctions. If it detects something in the body that's gone awry, and when it goes into the cell, it works conjunctively with the mitochondria inside the cells. So we call lonicera longevity, the lonicera berry in all of our products. We call that product in particular a senolytic. Senolytic, that means it extends your life. It helps by clearing away the old damaged senescent cells to make way for the new healthy, vibrant cells. So lonicera berry in the products, in the flagship product, actually, that's the first name. They named it lonicera longevity because it is senolytic. It just wipes out the old damaged cells and allows for the new cells to come in. And that means that lonicera, the berry itself, is protecting against age-related disorders. It's slowing down many of the aging process. It's promoting real, true longevity. And senescent cells, the aged cells, are going to spew out bad compounds that incite a lot of harmful systemic inflammation, and they will, senescent cells will definitely inflict the body with a lot of chaos and damage. But the berry itself is very powerful, and it fights that oxidative stress and that inflammation, and it does it especially in the brain and right there in the heart. It's protecting your DNA, your proteins, and your cell components. So what is it? Number one on the list, it's a super antioxidant, senolytic, anti-aging, promoting longevity. But number two on Dr. Charlie's list, it's a phytonutrient. It's a plant derived. There's no man-made stuff involved. It's all by God. It's all natural. And this phytonutrient, this beautiful little berry, this purple berry, is loaded with a plethora of phytochemicals. We're talking about procyanidins like PCO. We're talking about cyanidine 3 glucosides like C3G. We're talking about iridoids. Now look at here. If you don't do anything else, just Google PCO or C3G, because man, oh man, the research that's behind that. Phytonutrients that are protectors. This berry is going to improve your circulation and enhance your immunity. It improves the cell-to-cell communication. They call that the redox system. It's a redoxer. It makes cells talk to one another in a very favorable way. And it improves the cell's ability to do DNA repair. Very powerful. It's going to resist exposure to toxins and different things that are going to be carcinogenic or trying to damage you or even to kill you. It's a beautiful thing. It protects your heart and your liver and your kidney. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you know what? Most people in the world do not eat properly when it comes to fruits and vegetables. You know what the #1 vegetable eaten in the world market is today? A potato chip. And I guarantee you there's no big health in that. And scientists have now researched a wealth of, and they pinpointed some of the most health promoting nutrients in the lonicera caerulea berry. It's a superfruit. And people who consume these flavonoid rich nutritions, they're going to have a better brain blood supply. They're going to have a healthier white blood cell. And even the collagen of their body that's building their arteries and their skin and their bones and their teeth. Lonicera caerulea protects and helps the collagen to synthesize and to repair. And it's loaded with minerals, molybdenum and chromium and manganese and selenium and zinc and magnesium and copper and iodine. It makes this nutrition sizzle. These minerals are needed for healthy metabolism and thyroid function and pituitary function and wound healing and bone strength and immune responses. It's protecting you. It's a phytonutrient, and it's protecting you against chronic diseases and premature aging. #3, I told you we give you 7 reasons why you ought to get excited and become a big promoter of the lonicera caerulea berry. #3, it protects against vision loss. The plant pigments that are in the lonicera berry are so good that they can become a major enhancer to the dysfunctions that are trying to blur out our vision. It's a preventer of macular degeneration. Hey, and up to over 11 million Americans suffer with macular degeneration. It protects the macular density. Lonicera improves vision function as well as visual acuity. It reduces inflammation in the eye. That's a must for diabetics. That's a must for people with glaucoma. It prevents neurodegeneration. And hey, lonicera has that C3G flavonoid in it. That one molecule has been well researched in protecting the surface cells of the cornea of the eye. So if you're a contact lens wearer, lonicera berry keeps that cornea on the up and up. Lonicera berry helps prevent cataracts in the eye. Lonicera berry improves the rhodopsin in your eye, so that means you're going to have better night vision because of it. So think of lonicera caerulea as foresight for your eyesight. #4 on Dr. Charlie's list is fuel and focus. This antioxidant, lonicera, the berry, boosts and provides the energy that you need physically and mentally. It's got all of the resources in that one berry to provide all the antioxidant boost that your heart your brain, your muscles are going to be dependent on. Fuel and focus, better oxygenation. When the blood flows better, then the superberry helps the oxygen get to where it needs to go. And if you're one of those workout fanatics, you need the lonicera berry in your behalf. If you're a student trying to study, every student a better student because of the lonicera berry. Better oxygen, better power. And it's all in that resveratrol that's deeply embedded in that one little berry. Number 5 on Dr. Charlie's list is that it is heart healthy. I'm talking about that honeysuckle berry, lonicera, that one that's native to the cooler climates of the Northern Hemisphere. It's been used for over 100 years, 100 years in natural medicine, and it's been primarily used and researched because of prevention of heart disease. And you know what? When research got through with it, they found that the efficacy and the safety of the lonicera berry was so good that you could even give it to patients who have heart disease. It enhances the left ventricular part of the heart in a major way. And it prevents the blood, the red blood, from sticking, from aggregating. When blood gets sticky and stacks on top of one another, aggregation of the blood causes unwanted blood clots. And lonicera, the berry, keeps the blood flowing nice and smooth. Number 6 on Dr. Charlie's list, lonicera and the army. You heard me right, the army. Let me tell you something, folks. We live in a world of phase 4 chemistry labs. They're in full production. Manitoba, Canada has one. Wuhan, China definitely has one. Winston-Salem in North Carolina, there is one. And let me tell you something. These labs, phase 4 labs, they are wide open and in full production, and they are radically experimenting with viruses and chemical weapons. And we're living in the modern era where military strategy now goes beyond the atomic and the hydrogen bomb. We're now into military strategy, trying to figure out how to overcome the accidents like at Chernobyl, the radiation sickness, the acute intoxication from the mustard gas or the alkylating agents, the benzene hydrocarbons, the chlorinated hydrocarbons, the nuclear exposures, the terrorist activities, the macromolecules that are being tinkered and toyed with, like the mRNA and the DNA and all these other protein molecules that they're making monstrous things out of, like a spike protein that they call the coronavirus, came out of a phase 4 laboratory. Anyhow, lonicera and the army are beginning to team up. You know why? Because the toxicity that is most pronounced is in the fast proliferating cells. Cells that grow the fastest are the ones that are going to be damaged the quickest, especially to radiation and radiation exposure. And now the research has now shown that the anthocyanidine, the PCO molecule, the anthocyanidine in the lonicera berry is very effective against radiation sickness. Let me tell you something. The military has their eye on this berry because lonicera provides a lot of protective modes against byproducts of the chemical reaction. And lonicera has many chemopreventive properties. So if some of your family members get cancer and they have to go through chemotherapy or radiation, don't forget lonicera caerulea, #1 in chemopreventive measures. And this is especially important in blood and lungs and liver and small intestine. So guess what, Modexus? Go Army. We've got what they need. #7 on Dr. Charlie's list is that berry, that lonicera caerulea berry, that beautiful little honeysuckle berry, that elongated honeysuckle, that purple little berry, is loaded with all sorts of vitamins, with polyphenols, with resveratrol, with anthocyanidins, with bioflavonoids, with vitamin A and beta carotene, with a C3G, with vitamin C, with vitamin E. I call them phytamins, like phytonutrients, PHYTAMIN, phytamin. It has enzymes out the kazoo. It has chlorogenics. That means that your liver and your gallbladder and their pancreas is going to love you for it. It has minerals. It has PCO. It has EGCG, like in green tea. It has delphinidines that are perfect for the eye. It has quercetin. Man, look what they did with quercetin. They said it's better than ivermectin. My doctor today told me that quercetin better than ivermectin. How about that? And a lot of people are familiar with ivermectin. That's a prescription drug they've been using on the coronavirus. Anyhow, #7 on Dr. Charlie's list, lonicera caerulea, the berry by itself, is loaded. It is loaded. Now, in the world in which we live, we like ratings. How about football ratings? I mean, if you go look at the college football ratings, they rate the teams as the ones who haven't lost a game or seem to be better than the others. And they say this team's #1 and this team's #2 and this team's #3. And you know what? I'm all for those ratings if they produce and if they live up to their highest expectations. But look over here in natural medicine, Dr. Charlie, he looks at things and he rates things. He puts numbers on them. This one's better than that, and that one's better than this. And out of all the berries, Dr. Charlie has been working in berries and more berries, the science of berries, for decades. I've worked with strawberries and blueberries, blackberries. I've worked with aronia berries. I've worked with cloudberries. I've worked with cranberries, blackcurrant berries, raspberries, elderberries, even a gooseberry. Yeah, the goose from Canada eats a berry and flies thousands of miles. I said, whoa, there got to be something to it. But you know what? All those berries, fine and dandy, absolutely researched, got total confidence in what they say they can do. But I'm proud to say that when it comes to football ratings, I think the Georgia Bulldogs are #1. And when it comes to rating berries, lonicera caerulea, #1. And you know what? We can win. And you know what? You are responsible for winning this game. Those people in Canada were so gracious to the Modexus family in allowing us to have what had already been clinically researched. And yeah, when Randy asked me to research it, I saw the deal, and I said, whatever you do, Randy, grab it today, because we need to take that responsibility and be #1. So come on, Modexus, we are #1 because of one precious berry.
Dr. Rouse, we certainly are. And you know what? We also will allow you to acknowledge that your Georgia Bulldogs are #1. I think there's probably another Bulldog. Matter of fact, I know there's another Bulldog fan on as well. And so, look, you guys deserve that, but we do have the #1 story. It's the story of the decade. And Dr. Rouse, you and I have been around this industry a long time, and there have been super berries before us that have gone on, and that story has built $100 million a year companies, very successful companies. But there hasn't been a story like this in a decade or maybe more. And we are so blessed to have this opportunity, and we are the first movers to the market. So Dr. Rouse, you told that so well, 7 great reasons why this is the story of the decade. And we sure do appreciate you. You know, and it's so exciting to hear that. I mean, I've got a page full of notes. I was writing as fast as I could, and I'm pretty sure I missed a whole lot of it. You know, I think maybe we need to get these 7 points from you, Dr. Rouse, and make a shareable out of it, so we can get this out here. And here's what I also think is exciting is all of you that are blessed to be here tonight and to hear this message. And I, you know, we started out, I mean, it's across the US, but I was looking here, there are 7 countries represented on this call. And I didn't mention and welcome Trinidad and Tobago earlier. We also have Singapore, of course, Philippines, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Canada, and of course here in the US, but we have that responsibility, as Dr. Rouse said, to get this message out to the world. And I want to challenge each and every one of you that heard this evening. We'll get this recording looped up. We'll get it into our official communities. And from there, I want you to share it, post it, text it, whatever you need to do. Make sure everyone on your teams, your customers, your prospects, make sure they are hearing this. Get it out for the world to hear. It's a great story. You know, here at Modexus, we are blessed with 3 powerful stories of who we are. The first being, and I think it's important to tell them in this order, the first is our CEO, Andrew Reinhardt. It was his vision. And I remember the day that he was able to get his hands on those first buckets of lonicera, and the excitement and the vision he had for what this could become and what it will become. That's the powerful word, what it will become. We're just getting started. I mean, you got to understand Andrew's vision and his track record. He builds winners with capital W, winners. He has built national leaders in the networking and supplement industry, in telecommunications, in retail healthcare. Some of his current ventures, guys, are rated in the top 40 fastest growing companies in his home state of Utah. He picks winners. He's got that golden touch. That is a powerful story. You just heard Dr. Rouse tell our second story, the first to the world market, the first mover advantage of this powerful story, something that no one else is doing. Tell that story, be proud of that story, and know that when you share that story, it's going to have a high impact on the people that are open to hearing it, their health, the opportunity that it also can provide for them with a home-based residual income. And most importantly, to be a part of a community that has something exciting like this to share in the world. This is such a powerful story. And the third story, and certainly right there with all 3 of these, is you, Dr. Rouse. We're so thankful that you said yes to Modexus. You have a lot of opportunities, a lot of places you could be, a lot of things that you could be doing with your time. But that's the third powerful story I want all of you to embrace, is this man, his wisdom, his years of experience. He's one of the best formulators, one of the best natural medicine doctors in the world. And he said yes to Modexus, and he's committed to building products that do no harm. And I promise you, as we continue to grow, there are going to be other things that are going to come to the lineup and that you'll be able to share with the world. But right now, our focus needs to be on the lineup that we have, and these 3 powerful stories. Share the story, tell the story to everyone you possibly can, and let's continue to grow. So Dr. Rouse, thank you for being here this evening. We sure love and appreciate you. And we love our advocates and customers. And we say that often, and we don't say it lightly. And that's each and every one of you. And I hope you'll take that message and spread it throughout your teams and your customers, and make sure your prospects know the culture that we're building here with this company. So that's our presentation for this evening. It's been a Dr. Rouse in the house, and a powerful one at that. We have the nutritional story of the decade to tell and to share. We appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay healthy. See you guys.